I bring to you at this time Her
Angela.
African Majesty,
Come on, man.
Nefer, the mother of the universe. All rise. You're in the presence of a goddess. Queen, you belong.
Right back on your throne.
That's right.
Sing your song. You're magnificent and strong.
You are first.
Opulence, your home.
We honor you.
And that's not wrong. Empress live long.
The goddess.
This is your kingdom.
Speak, messenger. Couldn't wait to tell y'all. These words are overdue but not small.
Listen.
Return, candidate, to your call like you were before the great fall.
Man, mess this
You
up.
were one with the all.
see what I'm
You
saying?
were powerful. How you enthralled. That great divine architect, the sustainer, creator of protocol.
You belong. Right back on your throne. We sing your song. You're magnificent and strong. Opulence, your home.
We honor you.
And that's not wrong. Empress live long. This is your kingdom.
You are our survival. Our
Our
first arrival.
first
Divine, archetypal. Without doubt, vital. Queen. Yeah. That's why we say the black woman is God. Yeah. Riveting, Nubian, and Cushite, feminine, divinity. She's completely woman. She birthed man. This is how it all began. Her story was the very first universal and original plan. The mother of all, black and stunning. You ought to know this firsthand. Matriarchal culture, when women were idolized by all the lands. The return of the queen, conscious people. We all must take her stand. Her rightful place in our world has to start in the pineal gland. Oh, we're not done, people. Recognize her astonishing brand.
Speak, messenger.
Our empress, Nefertiti's, married two sisters of grand.
Queen, you belong. Right back on your throne. We sing your song. You're magnificent and strong. Opulence, your home. And that's not wrong. Empress live
All
long.
rise. You're in the presence of a goddess. Even now.
Rise up. Rise, y'all.
Nakupenda. Nangela. It shall be stated that the mother of humanity is gracefully departing our presence. Now her excellence, majesty, lofty status, and her appearance was astonishing.
Hotep, Uncle Jocelyn, and welcome to another live broadcast of Adults Only. I am your host. I am your big brother Jahi. And tonight, have we got a broadcast for you. We have two queens that's going to come on this broadcast and shed light on the question that you see at the bottom of the screen, which says the prerequisite for blissful living. The journey of life is amazing, but there's been a disaster beyond imagination and ignorance beyond belief. Many of us don't know what it takes to enjoy life. So, sisters and brothers, to live a life filled with harmony, balance, and happiness, we're going to tell you and help each other know what does it take to have a happy lifestyle. Those who are waiting to see Chaz tonight, you can forget it. Chaz is off tonight. He'll be back next week. And so, having said that, I'm going to bring on two beautiful queens that's going to take this broadcast by storm, and they're going to talk to us about the prerequisite for blissful living. The first person I'm going to bring on is Queen Ra. There she is right there. What's happening, Queen Ra? How you feeling?
Hotep. I'm feeling amazing. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
All right. And then we have Queen Mudiwa. How you doing?
Hotep, I'm doing great. I'm excited.
Okay, good. Because this is a broadcast that we need to have. And it's talking about the journey of life, talking about what does it take to live a life of happiness and blissful living. Because many of us, as I said earlier, we don't know what it takes. And so a lot of us are fronting today when it comes to our belief system. You know, we're taking all these spiritual names, you know, we're taking these names like Aset, Asar, Heru, but a lot of us aren't interested in the psychology that we have when it comes to learning about the Aku, the ancestors.
Exactly.
And so that, Queens, I'm going to ask you a question right out the bat, and I'm going to want you to comment on this question. And
before you get started asking the question, I just want to give this little disclaimer.
Okay.
Whatever we discuss tonight, If it bothers you, or if you feel that you are offended by it, that means you just need to grow.
Okay.
So don't be offended because what we talk about, if it's not pertaining to you, then it's not pertaining to you. But if it is, just grow.
Okay.
Just learn to grow.
Having said that, then Queen Ra, I'm gonna let you start it off. We're gonna talk about, first of all, what is not the prerequisite for blissful living. And one of the things we said is relationships. Many people think that relationships are going to bring happiness. Can you shed a little light on that, you and Mudiwa? That's not what it takes.
Yes, so relationships is definitely not what it takes to blissful living. A lot of people mask their hurt and mask their trauma with relationships. It's just one person to the next person, one person to the next person. They want somebody else to fill their cup, you know. But the reality of the situation, which we're going to talk about later, we're going to give you that key answer on what will fill your cup. So relationships is not what makes you have a blissful life. Yes, it may be good and feel good at that moment. It's temporary. But as far as a blissful lifestyle, a mindset, that is not the way to go.
Wow.
Exactly. I agree. Relationships, because they go up and down, up and down, up and down. You know, some relationships are bad for you. And so you've got to realize within yourself what is a true relationship. And you have different people put relationships with whatever they believed in sometimes. So you have to be very careful.
So that's not you guys are telling me that that's not a key to blissful living, happiness.
No.
Okay. Not close.
Well, what about this one? Material things. I mean, you can gain things, and is that going to make you happy?
No,
absolutely
not at all.
And that's the worst right now with our generation. Everybody is so hung on materialistics, what kind of car they drive, what kind of house they have, what type of clothes they wear, when that is not even close for blissful living at all. They're missing the point. Peace is what's blissful living. Materialistics, Christian Dior don't mean nothing when it comes to your mindset. You know, it's just money. It's just materialistic. And if we can get our culture, our family, our generation to wash that mindset out on feeling like, oh, I'm a blissful living because I have a $40,000, $80,000 car that makes you top tier. That's not it. Well, material things will not get you.
What about this? We want finances.
Well, finances, you can have all the money in the world.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean you're happy.
Wow.
It does not mean you're happy. You think you might be happy. Oh, I can afford this. I can go do this. I can go do that. Okay. But finances, by you having all the money, that does not always make you happy.
If you just tuned into Adults Only, I'm here with Queen Ra and also with Queen Mudiwa, and we're talking about what is the prerequisite for blissful living. We said it wasn't in relationships, although they may be good. It's not in materialism, although you may need it. It's not in finances, although we need that. So we're going to stop playing right now. We're going to get right to the chase, and I'm going to put this up now, and I'm going to ask you all.
I got one more thing to say about materialistic.
Go ahead.
You know, you could have everything in the palm of your hand. You got to understand all that is temporary. That's a temporary fix.
That's it.
Okay. Well,
that's going to go away. So when you close your eyes, that's gone. So that's a temporary. So why invest yourself into materialistic things? Why invest yourself into that? Because it's temporary.
Well, if you ladies are saying that, then let's say, what is the prerequisite? What is necessary for blissful living? Since that's what the subject is. What is the prerequisite? What must I do? What must I have to have blissful living?
Number one, you have to have a stable mind.
Stable mind.
Not the brain. A stable mind, meaning within you. You got to have a stable mind.
A knowledge of self.
A knowledge of self, most importantly. If you don't know who you are at all,
Mhm.
How can you consider anything peaceful? How can you even consider anything happy? How can you consider anything blissful? Knowing thyself is the truth. That's what peace is. Because can nobody take that power away from you once you know thyself. So
Wow.
in order to be top tier, where
Mhm.
you live in the most blissful life ever,
Mhm.
knowing thyself and knowledge of self, having that stable mindset is going to be key.
Wow, that's awesome, Queen Rob, because I'm going to tell you all now, whoever's watching this broadcast, I'm a part of 3 study groups, actually 2.5. One study group meets out of Atlanta. We Zoom every week in Atlanta, and we talk about a knowledge of self and the ancestors, the Aku, the ancient Kemites. And then I have a group of people that I'm talking to now with Queen Ra, Queen Mudiwa. You know, we also have Queen Zuri. We have Queen BB, and we have Queen Candace. You know, we have sisters and brothers all over. You know, we're going to talk about the accountability later on. But this is important that we have a knowledge of self. And so, if you think about it, a knowledge of self requires some things. And I'm going to let you ladies loose now. A knowledge of self requires this. Talk about it. Commitment. How important is commitment?
Commitment.
Go
Go
ahead,
ahead, Ron.
Queen. Go ahead. You got it. You got it.
Commitment is everything. Okay. Commitment to your studies, commitment to what's inside of you. But we find commitment in all the wrong places. Okay. Some of us can't even be committed to what we believe in. In other words,
Mm, mm.
you got the Christianity, you got Muslims. They can't even be committed to what they believe in because you might see someone on Easter
Okay.
and
Okay.
Mother's Day
Okay.
and maybe Father's Day, but
Not with the
definitely
hats
Easter.
and the suits.
Yes, with the hats and the suits.
Okay.
That's their commitment. Their commitment is to what they can get. Like we said, the materialistic things, you got people that are committed to that. They got to have it.
Mm. Well, we have a comment. A beautiful empress says the first relationship you have to conquer successfully, she said, is the relationship with yourself. She hit the
Mm-hmm.
nail right on the head. She says,
Mm-hmm.
know thyself and you will, if you are not happy, she says, if you are not healed from your past, then you are a part of the problem. And she says, and you cannot successfully partake in any type of happiness. Now, we have a study group and we meet every week. You guys made me meet. You called me and said, you're going to study with us, regardless of whether you like it or not. And we talk about being committed to ourselves first. Now, we said that know thyself is written on the walls of the ancient Kemites, the temples. But we found out that it's not written on there. It's not
Right.
written, know thyself. That's a Eurocentric concept, know thyself. Can you share with me what's really on the walls or what the idea is on the walls of knowing oneself?
I know what is within.
Whoa, say that again, Queen.
The ebb.
What? Okay,
I
break that
know, I know
down.
what is within
So hold on for a second.
my mind.
Hold on for a second, Mudiwa. So you're telling me it's not about knowing, well, we know it's about knowing thyself, but our ancients didn't say know thyself. They said
No.
what? What did they say?
They said,
Within.
I know what's
I know.
within. I
Oh,
know what's within,
whoa,
not
that's
the
heavy.
brain, but within
Okay,
my
okay,
mind.
okay. Wow, that's good. Rod, you said something about the ear of the mind. I mean, so all this goes back to committing one's self to the inner self.
Correct.
Mhm.
Then you have to have, what is this called? Desire. Why don't we have a lot of people that want to? It's, you have to have a strong feeling or wanting to have something. What's going on with that today, ladies?
Because they're scared, where a lot of people are literally ignorant. And if you understand the definition of ignorant, you won't take offense to that. Ignorant to who they really are, what their mindset is, what who they are within, because we've been taught so many years of learned behavior and they've been telling us who we are for so long, and some people are terrified and scared to actually figure out if that's a lie or not.
Okay.
So people they're afraid to unlearn, to relearn. So they
Okay.
don't have a desire. They just, okay, we just gonna keep going. I'm comfortable with this. Oh, it's been working. Where am I? They want to keep going and keep going and keep going, and that's where the blissful. That's where it stops. If you can't make a commitment to yourself, how can you make a commitment to money? How can you make a commitment to a relationship? How can you make a commitment to anything if you can't do it with self?
Wow, Mudiwa, you have
You
something?
you gotta have that desire
Okay.
to learn. You gotta have the desire for growth. Like Queen Ra was saying, ignorance, that's not a bad word. It's just that you don't know, but you got to have a desire to know. You got to want to know.
Okay. And what about this one, ladies? Resilience. Spirituality teaches us that you're going to have to know how to bounce back from difficult situations. And all of us have been in difficult situations.
Yes, we have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and it starts with calls like this. You may have somebody that don't agree with what we have to say because they have been taught so many different things, and here we are coming out with the truth. So yeah, you have to be resilient. You have to stand 10 toes down. You have to understand what's going on and represent that to the fullest. So yes, being resilient is very, very important, and that builds discipline, that builds your mindset, that builds your knowledge of knowing thyself, that makes sure that your mindset is clean and you will live a blissful life by building this resilience. So yes, absolutely, it's important.
Wow, these sisters right here, I'm telling you, the group we are part of, like I said, they grabbed me by the collar and said, we're going to have studies. I said, I don't want to do it. They said, no, we're going to have studies. And I have people in Atlanta, like King Wujau, King Chris out of Atlanta, then we got Sister Emiket. So we're studying all over with people who want to know about themselves. And having said that, I want you all to listen to a sister who talks about the plight of the Black woman and giving encouragement to what we have to do as a people when it comes to the Black woman. Check this out.
Beautiful Black woman. They wonder where your beauty lies. They will never understand the power of your magnificence. It runs deep in your veins, so strong it radiates through your melanin. You are wiser than your years. Ancestors whisper in your presence, beautiful Black woman. They wonder where your confidence lies. You tell them to be broken, yet make yourself whole, for everyone else is the greatest curse of all. You can't fathom the hard work we have to go through to shine or outshine, just to still finish last. Black women don't get the option to be mediocre. For we end up a statistic or here for someone else's pleasure. Beautiful Black woman. They wonder how you still here and alive. You tell them they cannot kill you, for themselves to be erased. Everything begins and ends with you. You can't eliminate an existence, yet they're so foolish. They will try anyway. Beautiful Black woman, hold your head high. Wear your crown upright and don't look down. It is not your job to excuse the ignorance of others. Queens don't address peasants. Humility is your throne. Resilience is your sword. You have everything you need to survive, and humble beginnings make for the sweetest of victories.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
That's truth, and this is why, what about, there's too much bickering and jealousy, because jealousy is really something that a lot of us are struggling with. We barricade ourselves and we don't like to face the reality, and that is iron sharpens iron, and we have to be a part of something that's bigger than us, that's going to teach that we're going to have to know ourselves. And the way to know ourselves is not just by committing to ourselves, not just because of having desire, not just being resilient, but Queen Ron, you tore this up earlier, and I'm going to put it on the screen, and I want you to take it away, because of sacrifice. How important is sacrifice?
Sacrifice is extremely important. It's extremely important. You have to be willing. This is where your desire comes from. Like sometimes you have to sacrifice something to get something else. You have to sacrifice your old mindset and your old teachings to relearn what's best for you and what's right for you. Sacrifice, it may sting, it's ugly. It's ugly, but it's a key part to healing. Sacrifice is it's what makes you have a blissful life as well, is because you're going to begin to study more. You're going to begin to dig deeper within yourself. I tell everybody on any type of spiritual journey, whatever your journey may be, the very first question you need to ask yourself is, who am I? And that requires sacrifice.
That's true. That's true. That's what sacrifice is all. You got to sacrifice. You have to, in order to learn. You have to make that decision and sacrifice. We can sacrifice for everything other than what we should be sacrificing for. When it comes to people, when it comes to material things, it's that me, myself, and I type situation. But
Ego.
we can sacrifice if we relearn, teach ourselves, like you say, get into study groups. That's a sacrifice.
Yes, it is.
That's a sacrifice for you to come to study 7 days out the week. If you can't make time, 30 minutes, an hour out of your life to get into the things that you should be getting into, as like I say, study, then you're not sacrificing. And that's a sacrifice, because we always say there's not enough hours in a day, but we can find time to do what we want to do.
Well, let me break in here and say this, because our ancestors sacrificed everything they had for us.
Yes, they did.
Sacrificed a great deal.
Everything.
I'd be damned if many of us are so selfish, self-centered. We're so jealous. We're so envious. We talk about helping the Black community, talking about helping society, and we don't want to raise a finger to help. We see the police brutality. We see the ignorance among us. We see our kids being raised in these, I almost said it, these messed up schools and institutions, and yet we still don't want to come out of our comfort zones. There's something wrong with the psyche, because it goes back to what we're saying, know yourself. And Mudiwa, you must have seen my next point, because I'm getting right to it. Serious study, a willingness to learn. Some of us don't give a damn about learning. We don't care anymore about learning. And that's why I'm telling you, I'm going to start a group in Indiana. I talked to a gentleman today. He's ready to start a group. I'm in a group that's in Atlanta. I'm in a group with you sisters. So I got brothers and sisters, people that I'm accountable to. Brother Kevin, Brother Chaz, as I said, Mudiwa, as I said, Ra, Candace, Zuri, BB, we all are accountable to one another, but damn it, we're going to have to seriously take time out to study, and I shouldn't be getting worked up. That's y'all point. How important is free study? Y'all are learning the nature, the language, the culture, the history. Take it away, girls.
Serious study is key. We find time and we can look at Beyonce's lyrics. Beehive, don't kill me. We can learn those words. We can do so many different things besides self-study for ourselves, something that's going to open the gateway not only for you but for generations behind you. And we fail that every single time because it requires too much time, because we don't see interest in it. Like, that's ridiculous. We give so much. We give this reality TV 2 and 3 hours of our time, the news 1 hour of our time, social media 4 hours of our time, but we can't sit here for a 1 hour class to learn more about who you are.
But when we talk about what our ancestors did for us, though, y'all, that's what I don't get. It must not mean much if we keep talking about what they've done, but we don't show an appreciation. Our ancestors studied nature. They studied science. They studied animals. They studied fauna. They studied flora. They studied the solar system. They studied astrology. They studied everything. And what many of us are, can I just put it this way? Many of us are just lazy. We're just lazy. And we don't want. And then another thing is, you ladies, when we talk about serious study, you guys check me. I check you, you check me. We run, iron sharpens iron. But nowadays, if you correct me, I'm going to take my ball, as I normally say, and go. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to be bothered. This is ridiculous, ladies, and yet we're still dying. So a serious study is good. Mudiwa, is it the next one you're going to see? I know y'all going to talk about this. Does it boil down to this right here? Some of us don't want the truth. Come on, Mudiwa, talk to me.
Oh yeah, they don't want the truth, because as they say, the truth will set you free. So
No, it
they
hurts.
say,
It makes you
but it
run.
hurts. Exactly. That truth is going to make you run away, because you got to look at yourself and look at the truth of yourself, and it is going to make you run away. And getting back before you move on, but that study, seriously being, study, you look across all religions, Christianity, Muslims, Hinduism, all that. We came out of the Christianity, and they study Bible studies and all that. But doggone it, by the time they leave the place where they have had their studies, you don't know them. In other words, they say they're in a study group, whatever they believe in, but can you tell it that they're in a study group? Or are they just repeating what they hear?
Well, I got a special announcement to make. You can keep talking, but here's a special announcement. You just made me think of something. You and Rob think y'all slick, but you guys have an assignment for this weekend.
I got it, September 23rd.
Okay.
Sacrifice. September 23rd, sacrifice. You hear me?
Yeah, you have an assignment coming up this week, so you talking this stuff. We're gonna see what you got.
I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
I started. Yes, I'm almost done.
Now, Rob, how important is truth?
Truth is very, very important. Just to piggyback, the truth will set you free. And if the truth is so powerful, that's why it's been washed. That's why we've been brainwashed for so many years, because the truth will set you free. Everything that our ancestors put down for us is still there. It's not going anywhere.
Exactly.
We just have to look for it and find it. That's the truth. But again, our ancestors made sure that this will be able to. This is years, decades, centuries of the truth. Of the truth. So the truth, once you find the truth, that's going to set you free. But you got to understand, and you got to be wise enough to understand what the truth is, and not what a trend is or what somebody else have told you. Something that you've researched, something that you've seen with your eyes, something that you are learning. Know what truth is. Truth is going to set you free. And it's so powerful, y'all. Y'all can't, please, the study group, get with Big Brother Jahi. I'm telling you, just 1 hour. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. It's free. But y'all, let me get on that. But y'all rather go pay $200, $300, $400 for something that don't mean nothing. This is a free class to help you learn for you to break these generational curses, the unlearning and to relearn of who you truly are. The truth. Y'all, the truth was, I'm telling, once you can't. We're so powerful. And the reason why I know that is because this study, we teach the truth.
Well, what about
you can't take that away from us.
Yeah, you can't. Now, what about this, Ra? Because I guess Mudiwa doing something. I don't know if it's technical. Oh, there she is again. Okay, but what about this? And this is what I believe, and I want you guys to talk about this. Accountability. Many of us don't want to be accountable. We want to live our lives and do everything under the sun, but we don't want to be accountable. See, when people are accountable to other people, then that's going to help us, because you're going to check me. I'm going to check you. I'm going to learn from you. You're going to learn from me. We're going to learn together. But we're so childish in our thinking that a lot of us don't want to be accountable to anyone. We want to just be lone rangers and just do things on our own, when even the civil rights movements, all those groups, they were groups of people that made a change. It wasn't just one person. And so the accountability is what we need to talk about. Why don't we want to be responsible, y'all? We're old now. We're not children. We should be accountable to each other. Why not?
Because
accountability.
Go ahead, Queen. Accountability makes a person be responsible.
Okay.
It makes them be responsible for their actions. And that's what accountability does. Because I'm going to be accountable to what I say, what I do. if I say something, I'm accountable for that. And I have to be honest with that. And a lot of people don't like that accountability because they don't want to be responsible. They don't want to have that responsibility to anyone but themselves.
This is
So
deep.
I don't want to have that accountability to you because I don't want to be responsible to you. And that's the wrong. We all have to be accountable for something. We need to get into something. So yes, accountability, being responsible for your action, that's a lot. You should be responsible. If you do it, if you say it, back it
Stand
up.
on it.
Back it up.
Go ahead, Rod. You had something to say about accountability too.
Yes, it's so easy for us to blame somebody else. It's so easy to come up with an excuse. You know what I hear? Excuse me, y'all. You know what I hear in many in the Christianity? The devil. The devil. Are y'all kidding me?
Yeah, the devil made
Are
me
you
do it.
kidding me? Are you kidding? That is just another way of not holding yourself accountable for what has happened or what could be done. Every situation that has happened to us is an experience, whether it's a good experience or bad experience, but you got to be strong enough here to hold yourself accountable to say, okay, I'm going to do this better or I'm not going to go that route. Hold yourself accountable. And that's what you lose so much power when you don't hold yourself accountable. Because you're so quick to look to the next person and blame them. How can you be a leader?
Wow.
Our ancestors were leaders.
Yes.
I'm a leader. My children are leaders.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to put
So
another.
holding yourself accountable. Go ahead.
This brother says one thing about Yahweh is the same thing that holds the people responsible for the way they have lived their life on earth. And this is really a truthful statement when it comes to a creator, whatever one believes in. We're responsible. We're accountable to one another. And we've got to get out of that mindset. If it's not my way, then I want it to be the highway. And this is what's killing us as a people because we're so selfish. But Queens, I'm going to let y'all take this because this is your broadcast. I'm just wanting you to talk about the importance of accountability. Now, you already talked about how the mind must be stable, how the mind should be focused, how we should stretch the mind. But a lot of us don't want to stretch the mind because we're so cliquish. And if it doesn't sound like what we've heard, we don't want to be a part of it.
Exactly.
So let me just ask you this. When we talk about all these truths that we're dealing with, what about this, y'all? Acknowledgement of the Aku, meaning our ancestors for their legacy. They left so much behind us. Our grandmamas, our great grandmamas, our mamas, our aunties, our uncles, they left so much behind, y'all.
Yes, they did.
We're kicking that stuff to the curb because we're so selfish. And I want you to talk about how we should acknowledge the Aku for their legacy.
Yes.
It's so important. Oh my gosh. Y'all listen.
Okay.
We here on this earth, we're flesh, but we're also spirit. Our spirit transcends. When we lose a grandmother, when we lose a father, when we lose a mother, it's the audacity for me for you guys not to honor your ancestors when they go without flesh.
Okay.
How disrespectful.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Acknowledgement to your ancestors, it's key because if your ancestors didn't do it, how we wouldn't be here now. We wouldn't have the things that we have now. We wouldn't have the creations that we have now. We wouldn't have that little power that we're trying to pick up and go with. We wouldn't have that right now if it wasn't for our ancestors. So how dare you not honor
yes
your Aku?
Mudiwa,
That's it. That's it.
Yes, that acknowledgement, it is, when you look back, like you say, the Aku, your ancestors, your grandmamas, your mothers, and sometimes we can be so disrespectful. But you know what? But the thing is this, those who still have their loved ones, still have their mother, or still have their father, still have their grandmother, we can be so disrespectful now. I don't understand that. It's like, you can't tell me what to do. And it's like, but that's your mom. I could talk to my mama any kind of way. You can cuss in front of them. You don't care. You don't even want to honor the living one, the ones that are living. So if you ain't gonna honor the ones that are living, I know you're not gonna honor the ones that have transitioned on. I know that.
Wow. And when you think about it, Queens, we can go way back at the beginning of time and see what our ancestors left us, not just the pyramids, but just in science, in math, in language arts, in nature, I mean, in astrology,
everything.
Yes. And
that's what our ancestors did.
This is not important to us, y'all. We don't want to even acknowledge them.
Nope.
We got some sick. Listen, I think what has happened is this whole knowing thyself has become a trend. Because
it's a fad.
Our ancestors never said know thyself. In the Medu Neter, which you are studying, and others, it says, I know what is in my mind. So they already knew. They didn't have to search for it. But because of a lack of study, we're running around telling people, know thyself. That's a European concept. Know thyself. They didn't even talk like that. It's Reiki Abi Ib, meaning no, that's on all the temples. When you walk into the temples, before you come into this temple, you should know yourself. Know who you are. Know what's in your mind. So, Queens, I want you to keep talking. I was going to make an announcement, but I want to keep going because this train is hot here. This is really hot. What about this one? Discipline. Is that a problem why we're not really getting into knowing what's in the mind? Is it because we have no discipline? We can't concentrate regardless of what's... Listen, there's things going on in all of our lives, every one of us, but we can't concentrate regardless of that? Talk about
because that once again is going to, you got to have sacrifice.
Okay.
And discipline, you can be, they're disciplined in what they want. They're disciplined if it's something that is going to benefit me, that's what I'm going to be disciplined in. Now, if it's something that I can help others with or something that I can be a part of, I'm not going to be disciplined. You should be disciplined, but you don't want to make that sacrifice to be disciplined.
Ra, what happened to us that we have no discipline now? We can't start something and finish something. We started, we quit. We started, we quit. We started, we quit. Why can't we be sound, Ra, in what
consistent in what we do?
Consistency. No lack of consistency, no sacrifice, lack of accountability, afraid to unlearn, to relearn. People rather not. It's too hard for people, and I quotation marks, right? It's people rather be comfortable and suffer because that's what they know and that's what they learn.
But Ra, we're talking about unity, though. Aren't we talking nowadays? When I say we, the black, the family, we're all talking about unity.
There's no unity.
There's no unity.
There's no unity. There's no unity.
It's jealousy, strife, bitterness. Yes. People have some stuff in their hearts that they haven't worked it out because they're not into knowing themselves. Because when you know yourself, you know that it ain't about you. It ain't about me.
Exactly.
It's about us.
It's egos. They have big egos, egotistic thinking.
Okay.
Yep.
Don't want to be.
That's why it's no unity. Because when you think about ego, it's I, me, right? You can't be unified and be together when it's all about you. That's the problem. People, yeah, you have people that say they for us, right? But it's trendy. They're doing everything for clout, to make money. But what you really doing? Are you really out here teaching studies?
You guys are big. You guys are big on studies, and I think
because it's crucial. Because they put you in school, right? You go to school. We send our kids to school every day to what? Study, to learn. Why can't we do that for ourselves when it comes to our ancestors, when it comes to our Ib, when it comes to ourselves? Why can't we do that same thing?
Exactly.
Laziness.
Exactly.
Now, ladies and gentlemen that are watching this, we are so happy that you're able to tune into Adults Only. My guest today is Queen Mudiwa and Queen Ra, and we're talking about the prerequisite for blissful living. How do you live a happy life? They said it's not in finances. They said it's not in relationships. They said it's not in material things. They said it's in knowing what's in your mind. And these sisters, I meet with them every week. They made me meet with them. And so we talk about things that are so crucial to our ancestors. They have assignments. We check one another. Iron sharpens iron. We're looking at the Medu-Neter. They're learning the ancient Kimite language. We're having a lot of fun because it should be fun, ladies and gentlemen. But the problem is a lot of us aren't interested in what we say we are. And this is why we're trying to encourage you. We're not coming down on you. We're encouraging you. But because our minds are so small, we think, oh, they talking about me. And like Queen Mudiwa said in the beginning, if the shoe doesn't fit, it's all. Because why, ladies? Because this is it right here. The journey of self-discovery is amazing. Talk about that, Mudiwa. It's amazing. In what ways? How is it amazing in your life? What has happened to you since you've been studying? Since you've been getting into yourself? What have you learned?
Peace and happiness.
Hotel.
Being joyous.
Freedom.
Yes. Understanding the true meaning in life. What I, in my growth, makes me aware of myself or who I am.
Absolutely.
Divinity. It enhances my thinking. I don't think like I used to.
Wow.
Correct.
So when things come my way, because we all gonna have problems, but it's how you handle that problem. Sometimes you kind of just laugh it off, or either some things you can't change, but you can change the way you think about that problem. See, a lot of times when we look at problems that come our way, the first thing we want to do is not sit back and say, okay, let me look at this problem and let me see how I can deal with this problem. No, we don't want to do that. We just want to boom. Don't think about it, especially if somebody come up in your face. The first thing we want to do is slap that face, get out my face. You can't tell me what to do. And none of that.
That's childish.
So
the journey of self-discovery is amazing. Right. It's amazing. And in what ways in your life? Talk about the laws of Ma'at. I mean, we talk about these principles to help us live there inside of us. How easy is that?
Correct.
What about that, Rob? The journey of self-discovery is amazing.
For me and my journey, my divinity, like no one can take my power away from me, because I know I control my mind. I control my thoughts. To be able to have that ability to control your happiness and peace from the inside, where it reflect your outside, to be able to be a light not only to yourself but to others, to be at a peaceful state no matter what. The journey of self-discovery is amazing. To be connected to my ancestors from generations. Ooh. That's important, because I know they got me. I feel it.
No matter what. That's right.
No matter what. So now that I learned, guys, now that my mental is great, right? I got clarity, I got understanding, I have peace, I have balance, I have harmony. Right? Laws of Ma'at, right?
Teacher, right?
Now that I have that self-discovery, nobody can take that away from me.
That's good.
I am my ancestors.
Yes.
Because I will become an ancestor. And as I leave this earth, in its flesh spirit, I am my ancestors. They're going to be proud of me. And that's what self-discovery, when you can leave a mark like your ancestors did, when you can continue their grace, continue their love, continue their light, continue their fight, continue their studies, continue everything that they have poured into us, to be able to pick that up and teach my children. That self-discovery is amazing for me, because not only is it amazing for me, it's amazing for everybody around me.
Wow.
This journey is beautiful.
All I can say is thank you, queens, because there are other queens that are in our group, and they're just as exciting as these two. They couldn't make it, but you're going to hear from them soon. You're going to hear from all of them, and you're going to say, boy, these people are serious about what they believe. And I thank you all for your commitment and your dedication and your challenging me, and and just being people who want to know more about who we really are. That to me says a lot about a person when they want to know what's inside of me, what makes me tick, what did my ancestors say, not what did a European say, not what someone else said, not what I've been taught in school, not what my family taught me. What did my ancestors say? How do I live this life? Because this life is something to be discovered. Someone says, this is good teaching. So Queens, I guess y'all gonna have to come back, because y'all gonna have to come back with the next few months, because they like what they hear, because they see that you're speaking from your spirits. And I want you to know that this is wonderful. So let's go back and let's talk about this mind. Did our ancestors think, Mudiwa, the mind was very important, or did they look at the mind as whatever?
Oh, why do you think they wrote things on the temples?
Okay.
Why did they put all this information that's been thousands and thousands of years ago are still there as of today? So we can know. So we can know.
And let me say this before you go. Let me say this right there on the temples. To be able to read when on those temples, top, you can't beat that.
Right.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, you guys, we know you've been doing your homework assignment. You've been reading your Mendanetia. You've been having fun. I hear what you're saying, because we look at what's on the temples and we actually read those things because of our study, because of our stick-to-itiveness. And this is it's an amazing, it unlocks the key to what we've always wanted to know. And that is, our minds are going to have to be focused. Our minds are going to have to be concentrated. Our minds are going to have to be stretched, as all these people that we talked about. We talked about the dynasties from Dynasty 1 all the way to Dynasty 30. And you guys get a kick out of some of these people because they're just like us. And share with us some of the things you're learning about some of these Nisut Bitties and these Nisut Bitties, these queens and kings. Well, some of the things we're learning is just mind-blowing about what they had to go through. But one thing they kept doing was going back to the laws of Ma'at, because that's what he is. Some of the dynasties, you guys learn so much and you're still learning.
Yeah.
And so commitment is, go ahead, Queen.
Understanding those temples that are built, y'all.
And it's still standing.
Still standing.
And knowing what those offering prayers, what those mean.
Below. Our ancestors made.
Yeah.
That's why it's important to know these type of things, because once you start learning these things, no one can take your divinity nobody can take your power from you, because you are aware, you understand these are facts, this is proven, this is here.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like where our generation, my generation, most importantly, that's what we so weak at. We like the crystals, we like the locks, we like so much because it's trendy. But are y'all really learning about your ancestors? Are you really learning what they left you? They left you the game, and we too scared to pick it up and read it.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's the problem, because that part, the study part is not trendy. Right?
Please, no.
It's not trendy.
Yeah. They wrote on stone. They didn't write on paper. They wrote on, it's still there. If you don't believe us, check it out. If you don't believe us, learn Mendanetia and see if what we're not saying is true.
It's still there.
Let me make a couple quick announcements. Let me make a couple quick announcements, and I'll let y'all get back to what's going on in Ancient Kemet and how the principles helped us. But this Saturday, the Liberation Center and Liberation Academy is going to have a barbecue fundraiser. It's going to be from 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock. That's this Saturday, the 23rd, at 7654 FM 78, Suite 125. The plates are $10 for the chopped brisket sandwich, I should say, and the plates are $15. And so we want you to support Liberation Academy. That's the school that I'm over, that I teach, that I'm in, that we have students that are learning about their ancestors. They're learning about nature. They're learning about all these things we're talking about. And so we want you to support us. Next month, on the 7th, which is the first Saturday, from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock at 639 South WW White Road. Myself and brother Kevin Lewis, we're going to be at Global Fitness doing our live broadcast where we're going to look at the importance of fitness. We're going to be at a gym, and the Black business owner, Gloria, she's going to show us why fitness is important. And we want you to come down and join the fitness center and quit talking about always supporting Blacks and never doing it. That's what we're going to do. And then on next week, Chaz and I will be back talking about next Wednesday at 6 o'clock, how we have disrespected our elders and our seniors. We're talking about those who are alive right now. We're going to do part 2 to that. But again, you queens, you ladies have really made my day, my week, my whole month, because you're speaking from the heart. And I want to continue to let you talk about the importance of knowing thyself, knowing what's in the mind, stretching the mind, challenging one another. Brothers challenged me this past week in Atlanta, and boy, they had me on the hot seat. But I love them for that. I didn't get mad and say I'm not coming back. They told me, you're going to translate this, Jahi, or else. And I had to translate. I didn't want to do it. I was stubborn and stammering, but I like the accountability. I like when these sisters come at me and challenge me. Iron sharpens iron. I'm too old to be getting angry when y'all are telling me something to help me.
Yeah.
So how important is it, ladies, again, to get back into the ways of old? We were the first to do it. So why not go back to that way? It lasted for many, many years, thousands of years.
Thousands of years. Thousands. It just blows my mind. It just blows my mind with our ancestors, how they were able to build temples.
Okay, Ross, she dropped something. You better take over now. She's
building temples. Oh, there you go. There you go. You got it? Building temples with their hands. They didn't have no instruction manual. They didn't have no, you put the sand here, you put it, they didn't have that. So to be a part of that,
right?
It's amazing. Go ahead. You can go ahead now.
No, okay. No, I'm just saying.
I got you.
It's just amazing, you know, when I look at things that's been thousands and thousands and thousands before Christianity, before Muslim, you know, before all these other religions came. We was before all that. That blows my mind. And it's still standing as of today. That just right there blows my mind about what our ancestors have left us. And it's still there. And the principles of Mayat. If you follow the principle, the 42 laws of confessions, and repeat it over, do it daily, you will be amazed how your inside, how your thought process will change. But that takes discipline. That takes discipline for me to look at
sacrifice.
Exactly, to read those in the morning and in the evening. That takes discipline. That takes sacrifice. But
well,
you know,
Queen Rob, why are we taking these names? Like a lot of us, Blacks or African Americans, whatever we're calling ourselves these days, we're taking names on the internet like people call themselves Asar, people call themselves Aset, people call themselves Hathor, and yet one lady called herself Queen Hathor, and she was half naked with her tongue sticking out, and yet that is a misrepresentation. Why do we take these names and we don't want to look at what that actually means, Rob?
Because again, our generation is trendy.
Okay.
Right? They see what even goes down to the Orishas. Oshun is more than just being beautiful. You understand what I'm saying? She's more than just, oh, she wears yellow. It's trendy. People don't want to do the homework and want to study. They just say, oh, I'm going to hop on this trend. Let me fit right in. And that's unacceptable. It's disrespectful to our ancestors. It's disrespectful to us. It's disrespectful to yourselves. So they're doing these things because it seems cool. But the reality of it is you got some people that's doing the work. You got to do the work. Do a little bit more studying. 1 hour a week is not, that's not requiring much at all. You can listen in.
What would y'all say to a young lady right now or a brother that's looking at this saying, this is interesting? But I'm kind of on the fence because I've been taught all this other stuff about a white man that died for me and all of that. And I'm not trying to be facetious. It's just the truth. And that I'm calling on this white person, which we know ain't no white person in their mind gonna save you. But yet, but I'm stuck. But I hear what y'all saying. What do I do now? Because I'm listening and I really want to know more.
That's when you gotta. That's when you gotta
okay.
get. Go ahead. That's when you gotta
First
get
and
into. Go ahead, Queen Ra. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go
Rob.
ahead.
Okay, so first and foremost, we're gonna open them up with open arms. We understand your point. We understand you. We've all been there.
Mm-hmm.
We all have been there. This is a part of the experience. Now you just gotta ask yourself, are you ready to sacrifice? Are you ready to hold yourself accountable? Are you ready to unlearn to relearn? Those are questions that person will have to ask themselves before they can even step foot. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's going to take some unlearning to relearning. Yes, it's okay. We've all been there. We've all been brainwashed. But how strong are you? How bad do you want to know?
Wow, that's good, Rob.
Yeah.
That is good.
Yep, I agree. You like you said, we're gonna come open arms, but you got to be ready to be disciplined. You got to be disciplined in your studies. Don't go on what we say. Study for yourself. There's so much information, but you got to be disciplined and you got to study.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like you going to a church and all you doing is sitting there, because there's no accountability to me in a church, because I can sit there and y'all won't even know I'm there because I'm not accountable to. I'm just sitting there, and I'm not involved into anything, and no one comes to me to make me accountable for something. So yes, if you're ready to transition over, or if you're ready to want to know thyself, or want to know about your mind, you got to be ready to be open, disciplined. You got to be sacrificed.
Make that first step and join it. Listen into the class.
Just listen.
Well,
And study
first step.
Because we have about 3 minutes left, but I want to ask you this. This brother keeps saying this is good teaching. So what I want to know is, since it's so good, are you willing to come back within the next few months and do another part of something to help the people, to help us learn more about what we're studying and also how people can better themselves?
Sure.
Absolutely.
And this time we're gonna ask the other queens that are a part of our class to come out. In fact, I might not even be here. I might let you guys host it and I might be off the scene, because this is awesome. This is great. And I truly appreciate both of you, but I'm not gonna drop you cold like that. I'm gonna give Queen Ra let her say her last words, and take your time in speaking, because it's not like you have to get off in 3 minutes, because whenever we get done, we're done. And then I'm gonna let Queen Mudiwa encourage the people as well and talk about whatever's on your heart concerning what you're learning, or just what you want to say to our people about the situation we find ourselves in. And then I'll close out. But go ahead, Rock, take us where you want us to go.
I just want everyone to know, start today. Okay, just start today. Want to be able to control your mindset. Know thyself. Know what's in here. This is where everything is controlled. Your thoughts, your mind. Have a sane and clear mindset. That's our problem nowadays. People are out here crazy because they have no control over their mind. Build a relationship with yourself. Love yourself before you can pour into others. Discipline yourself on what you need and what you want and what you desire. What curses do you want to break? Don't be a trendsetter. Excuse me, a person that follows trends. Don't be that person. Know what our ancestors. I promise you that connection will be so real. Understand that everybody in our culture, we desire, we are worthy of a blissful living. This is why they went through what they went through, for us to live a blissful. They gave us the game. All we got to do is read the play and run with it. Stop being afraid of running with the play that they have given us. Take some time out to dedicate yourself to learning more about you, your ancestors. Y'all, it's not hard. Don't say you love your ancestors, but you don't know. We're not talking about immediate family. We're talking about down. The ancestors that been here before those ancestors. We're talking about the whole lineage. You can't just stop at one generation. Understand that it's okay to want to learn. Understand it's okay to relearn. Understand it's not bad. It's not witchcraft. It's not lies. It's okay to want to learn more. There got to be something in your mind, right? Because this is what we're talking about, that's not really clicking, that you know is more to it. Follow that. Join a session, join a class. It's easy. Understand that you can become happy. You can live a blissful life. Our lives are not to be lived by hatefulness and egotistic. That's not what our life was designed for. Our life was designed for a blissful living. We're just having this human experience because our spirit would always transcend. Know that.
And on
Know
that
that.
note,
You deserve it. You deserve it.
On that note, Ashe.
Ashe.
You guys getting ready for Galveston. I can see that already.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm going to say to these two beautiful queens, this is an experience that I want to have happen again. I thank you that you're not jealous. I thank you that you're not egotistical. I thank you that you're not territorial. A brother says Ashe. I thank you that you're encouraging women and men. I thank you that you're learning about the Medu nature, the culture, the psychology, the philosophy. I thank you that you're learning how to look at what our ancestors wanted us to know. They left it behind. And from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate all the challenges that you challenged me, and to all the other sisters that are a part of the group, and to all the brothers in Atlanta, to the brother that's in Indiana. All of you guys have helped shape me be the person that I am. I thank Chaz. I thank Brother Kevin. I just thank everybody, because that's what it's going to take. All hands on deck.
Yeah.
All this jealousy and this envy and this strife and this selfishness, it has to stop.
Yes.
What's come together? They're killing us. They're doing our babies wrong. They're feeding them misinformation, and we're still acting as if everything is okay, and it's not. We're ignorant, many of us. It just means we don't know. But the sisters have poured their hearts out to us. And I just wanted to say to them before I let them go, I truly appreciate both of you, and you better have your homework done for this weekend. Don't think this is going to get you.
Before we go, we both want to give you thanks for leading and guiding and teaching us. Because again, everybody got to start somewhere, and you have met us where we are, and we greatly appreciate you for leading by example, teaching us, showing us, letting us know, what you're doing is amazing. You're guiding people. You're being that light for others to have a blissful living, and we thank you for that.
Absolutely.
We thank you.
Absolutely.
To those who want to know more about
challenge.
this, we ask that you go and what they call it, IM me or something, I guess, or message me or something. And
DM.
I'm still in the Stone Age. That's what we like about these queens. They gonna straighten me out when I go wrong. But I appreciate both of them, and I like to say to both of you, Shem Imhotep and Dua, very much. Dua. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you see why I am the way I am. I am the way I am because of sisters like that and brothers like that. People who weren't able to come on the broadcast, but people who study faithfully every week, who put their hard time into this, who say, I want to know more about me. I want you to know that this broadcast is a broadcast that's for you all. We want to take you where you are and move you to another level. It's fun to learn about our ancestors and the great ancients of old and all of their accomplishments. But I just want you to know that from the bottom of my heart, You guys mean so much to us. And we want you to know that wherever you are in life, find out who you are and then live the life accordingly. And as our ancestors said, they didn't say know thyself. They said Reki Ib Abi, which means I know what's in my mind. I know what's in my mind. And so now let's continue to study about how do we get those principles into our lives. Because knowing the laws of Ma'at, talking about all these truths are not going to do anything for us unless we're willing to apply the principle. And so on behalf of Mudiwa, and on behalf of Queen, I am your big brother, Jahi. We'll see you next week, Chaz and I, with another broadcast at 6 o'clock, talking about, how many of us disrespect our ancestors. We'll tell you how not to do it. So I say to all of you, Shem M Hotel, which means we want you to go with a divine peace. And we say to you, Ankh Ujasanel, we wish you life, prosperity, and good health. And finally, I'll say to you, Dua, that's the Medu Nature word for thank you. Remember your ancestors and always know that the prerequisite for a blissful life, the prerequisite is knowing what's in your mind. And once you do that, you're going to see the change. Ankh Uja Sanel.